A royal color for a royal pat.
Hey, baby. Hey.
You're gonna be on the couch? Hey, Alvin. Be cool, dude.
No,
he's a little man. Do you want anything to drink? I got waters, I got caffeine drinks, teas, coffees, etc.
So I'm good. Where you want me at? Over here?
You sure this is okay? Or do I bring him upstairs?
He's fine.
All right, cool.
Okay, you got a friend. Yeah. Hey, baby.
Talking to me?
No.
I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. See, you gotta calm down, that's all. I don't want you biting my hand. Yeah, you just gotta calm down.
Season 2, episode 4.
Hmm?
Not to touch your hair. Season 2, episode 4.
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!
Yeah, see, you gotta calm down. My mama used to love these dogs. Yeah, you gotta get a massage, ain't you, baby? Mm-hmm.
All right.
Irving, you done met you a new friend? You wanna go home with me and get you a black Thanksgiving?
He always has a Black Thanksgiving.
Where?
Wherever, all Thanksgivings are Black Thanksgivings.
No, they're not. Lies, you tell it.
Then you don't have enough advocates around. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order at theperfectgene.nyc. Plus, you get free shipping. Or Google The Perfect Gene and use code TYSO15 for 15% off.
That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code TYSO15. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
After your purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Jinx, you owe me a Red Bull.
Double jinx. I want a pair of perfect jeans.
Fuck your khakis and get the perfect gene. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/TYSO for a free trial.
And when you're ready to launch, make sure to use offer code TYSO for 10%
off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Jigs, we used to be in sync, dude.
That's code TYSO to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Jake. Rick, I think you're so funny, man, but it's like you're too contained. I want to see you on the loose. I want to see Ricky on the loose, but I want to see you do an hour like outside of LA. Is that possible?
Ricky's on the loose starting January 9th through 11th, Phoenix, Arizona, January 23rd and 24th, Pittsburgh, PA, February 7th, San Francisco for 2 shows, February 26th and 28th, Denver, Colorado, March 26th to 28th, Houston, Texas, May 1st and 2nd, back in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, and the next weekend, May 7th and 9th, Irving, which is really kind of, my understanding, close to Dallas, Texas. More cities are being added now. Go to punchup.live/Rick Glassman. Sign up for my email list. I'm just going to let you know if I'm coming within 50 miles of your city and get tickets there. That's punchup.live/ That's right, Rick Glassman. Will you snap so we could go out? This Pat season 5 wrap gift? Is that what you're wearing?
I am.
When does season 5 come out? January 7th.
The whole Paramount and merger. So we're supposed to come out in December, but they pushed it back. So I don't know. But this might be the best season we've done.
I hear. 2 of my best friends are writers on your show. Married John DeWalt and Allison Busma.
I love them. They've been with me a few seasons now.
Yes, I think 3. And also through them, I met Pat Walsh, who's also a friend of mine.
He helped runs the show.
So I've been hearing about your show I've been hearing some rumblings for years. And to be candid, I didn't watch it until I knew you were coming on.
Really? Did you enjoy it?
Love the show.
Well, thank you.
Love the show so much. I watched so many of the episodes.
Oh, wow.
And the end of season 4 is, to me, respectfully, an act break. Because what's happened, I mean, I obviously you guys did that on purpose, but it's, I mean, it's our Fresh Prince moment, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
was that talked about in the writer's room? Do you even know?
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah.
But it was also very much true to me because my oldest daughter feel that way about her daddy, and my son don't. I mean, my son.
I don't know what you
You're talking about the finale?
Yeah, but I saw what happened with this, and I wasn't present with you anymore because I was debating if I get a lint roller or not.
No, you're fine. I was just knocking some hair off him. He fine. I have a dog.
Okay.
No. So with the finale of season 4 of the Miss Pat show, that rung home for me because my daughter feels that way by her real father. My first 2 kids have the same daddy. And my other son is like forgiving and understanding, my oldest son. Yeah. And my daughter's like, hell no. I'm not dealing with this dude. And he's sick. So that's mainly why we killed him off the show.
Kidney stuff? Is that all the same?
No, he has heart problems.
Well,
in real life.
We could have told you that years ago.
What do you mean?
I was making a small heart joke based off of at least the character of him on television.
Yes.
Is that all true? The shooting you, was that him?
Yes, that was all true. Yeah. He shot me in the back of the head when I think I was 15 or 16.
A lot of people, and I don't like this, but a lot of people I read were blaming you. They said it's your fault because you didn't duck fast enough.
That's a joke I told.
Imagine if all my questions were just backwards engineering all your bits.
I see I have to pay attention to you.
How respectful. So I've known your comedy. I mean, I've seen your stuff where I just hadn't seen the show. The show is genuinely, I'll tell them, it's so good. It's also hard to find, right? I mean,
is it?
I mean, BET Plus, I think, is the only place you could get it.
No, you can get it on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Is it on Amazon?
Yes.
To stream free?
Yes. Oh. It's on Amazon.
Good
and
to
it's
know.
also on
well, it would be Paramount then, right?
Roku and all of those too.
So I grew up on multicams. And then I don't know if I changed or the format changed.
I think the format changed.
I don't watch them anymore. I mean, no knock on them. I just don't watch them anymore.
They don't make them like that anymore either.
This felt like multicam. Like I'm going to keep, I mean, I watched so many episodes, but I'm going to keep watching. I mean, this felt like a multicam that I grew up watching. And I don't know why. Do you?
Well, that's what we was going for. Like old school TV. Like
I was on a multicam years ago, and that's what everyone's going for that.
Well, let me say this to you. TV had a purpose back in the day. When Norman Lear created Good Times and the Jeffersons, they had messages. We got away from that in TV. I think it was just a bunch of old made up stuff. You know, it was never about what the person at home was watching was going through. So when you're watching something and you really can't relate, you're not interested in it anymore. And I think the reason why Miss Pat feel like an old school sitcom because we talk about the things that going on in the world like TV used to do back in the day. You Fresh Prince did it, the Jefferson did it, Good Times did it. All of the shows did it.
Step by step. I mean, relate to my audience, Miss Pat.
I'm 53. I don't know how old you are, but
29.
Huh?
29.
Oh, I got 2 kids older than you. So TV was a lot better back then, and people just got away with, I think, over the years rehashing jokes. You can if somebody really wanted to, they can pull up sitcoms and you would see that same joke in almost every sitcom.
Yeah, I would argue that you could see that in almost all stories being told and movies being told.
No, not in Miss Pat show, because you not in my show, because we make sure that you haven't heard the shit we saying. Maybe 1 or 2, but no. And most of it is my stand-up in the first few seasons anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I have so many questions now because I wanted to play with you. I still do. But after watching the show now, like, I want to take advantage of this because it's such a well-made show. I want to ask specific questions. One of them is, you started off doing very stage play. Your opens. You were talking. You see the background that's not lit properly. They're frozen. And then it goes into the play. The sets come in. Then it evolved into stand-up, and then just you on the soundstage talking with seeing the people behind. Why switch from that to that?
Are you talking about the pilot?
Even season 2, it was like I remember one of the episodes was you talking to the fourth wall.
Okay, so let me tell you, the guy who created the Miss Pat show with me, he's a playwright. So a lot of times when you see that stuff that feel like theater, that's him. All I can do is tell the stories and act and help out with the jokes. But that's coming out of this 20-something-year-old boy head.
It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, I told you before, but I didn't say on camera, I was under the weather last week. I'm okay now, but I got some stuff going on. And if I don't blow my nose, I'm going to be thinking about it.
Oh, you blow your nose. I don't care.
Let me get some tissues aside.
He's really blowing his nose. That was a lot of shit in his nose.
I used to be, because I blow my nose loud. I remember in high school, I was so embarrassed. I would go to the bathroom. Because I remember I said I have to blow my nose, and the teacher offered me a tissue. And I said, I have to go to the bathroom. Because I was so embarrassed about how loud I blow my nose.
Oh,
I'm okay now.
Okay.
So you have a playwright who's doing, but you seem to, in season 4, not do as much of that.
Well, each season is a little different. Like if you watch the pilot and you see me talking on a plane and you open up and I'm in front of a comedy audience. Well, that came to be when I just told him, I said, I had 2 writers before him, and I said, nobody ever listened to me. I said, but I have this concept that I want to use for the pilot. I said, at the time I was flying Southwest, and I said, I love to block off a section where it's just white men or white women and have conversation about the real things that's going on in the world. Just...
When you block off, you saying for the show or in life?
So life. So that's why if you watch the very first episode, I'm on a plane. Yeah. Because I used to have conversation with people that I didn't know. So what do you think about this? And what do you think about this going on in the world? Because I just wanted to hear other people's perspective that did not look like me.
How many white writers do you have? Or not black writers do you have on season 1?
Season 1, I had 1 white writer. But you don't have to be white. You have to be right.
I got to tell you something. Because it rhymes, I think a lot of people are on board with that. But what does that mean?
I don't care what color you are. I just care about how you know how many black people done been through the Miss Pat show that didn't come back?
No, I'm talking specifically about that point of view that you're saying of wanting to just talk to people that don't look like you. I'm not saying for the show. I'm saying like to write those scenes. You know what I mean? Okay. The pilot is you sitting down talking to a white woman about school shootings and the lottery joke, which is probably written by a black person.
That happened to me. Those are the things I said in my stand-up. That's what.
Wait, you won the lottery? I mean, you got paid for that?
No. So I was telling her in the pilot, I said, if I can remember, it's something about, I think he dropped a turd.
No, that's I am positive that is his pumpkin treat.
Okay. And a penis.
Nope. That's poop. Oh my God.
Are you serious?
No.
You get on my goddamn nerve. I was like, this man I ate a dog.
This is not a penis.
Okay.
Nope.
So ask that question again.
Would it gross you out if I ate poop for the bit?
Yes, it would.
You need more white writers. Okay.
That's why I don't have them.
So you said that. So the joke in the pilot is black people don't even play the lottery anymore. They just wait for one.
They just wait for. That's true. Because you remember when all the police was killing black people just for no damn reason, just shooting us in the street? Pretty much like they do in the Hispanic community now. Remember that? Every month, some young black boy was being killed by the police officer. So I said, don't even play the lottery. Just wait till the police assault you or kill you, and then you can sue for millions of dollars.
And did all of is that true? Did settlements happen? I thought nothing happened from those things.
Yeah, a lot of you're not paying attention what happened to the African American community.
I'm not paying attention to what's happening to the lawsuits that happen after everything.
Yes, a lot of them win for abuse, killing them. Even George Floyd family won.
Trayvon Martin had the money given to the family?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, yes.
And then, so their family stopped playing the lottery?
Nobody played the lottery. It's a joke.
I know. We got to get, I'm going to take responsibility because I'm the host. And I'm asking you real questions that I understand, but I was kidding about that part.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you just saved me from getting upset. I was like, God damn, now, come on.
I saw that coming. and I'm a little sick too, so maybe I'm not reading the room perfectly, but like, you're so funny. And I want to play with you. And like I said, but I want to ask these questions, so we'll settle in a little bit. I'll stop making jokes about eating poop.
Okay.
And I do want to know, because you were talking about playwright into each season changing its format. And I love the show so much. And I missed a lot of that play stuff that you guys were doing earlier on. And I was curious how much of that conscious choice was because we wanted to have new stuff every season or because you just went away from it.
I think with the co-creator, I really leave that up to him, how each season is gonna flow. So, like, if you notice, we left you on a big cliffhanger in season 4. And I think season 3, we didn't. So it's just according to the things that we come up or the stories that we tell.
You still did some play, like some of the devices. I think it was season 2, you had one where you were talking to your younger self about your hair.
Yes. That was based off of my life.
And there was if you were doing this in a single cam or in a movie, there would have been a different, like, there was no mirror. It was you looking in a mirror, but I noticed that there was no effect practically to make it look like you're looking in a mirror. There's just a hole in the wall. Clearly, the other actress is there, and that's where it feels like a play. You did it in season 4 too, in one of the episodes where you were going back. Is it? I don't remember. I don't know who it was. Is it your sister?
My niece going back to Atlanta.
Yeah, but who is it that's selling drugs again?
That was the girl from I know you're talking about. That was my cousin. So that was based off a cousin in my real life. We sold drugs together.
And then you got out and
she
didn't.
Out, and then she still
and that's true.
And it yeah. And there she's with she was giving that same thing to her daughter.
So, yeah, and then there was that device where the lights change, and then the 2 kids come out, and you watch it, and you said, "We got out." By the way, I mean, maybe I cry. I'm a crier, but I'm crying in a lot of those episodes, and I'm not relating in the way that you said. Like, white people don't have the same relationship with hair as black people do.
Yes,
and I'm crying thinking about that stuff. So when you said that, like Norman Lear stuff, and like everyday people could relate to. There's something about it, and this is me still trying to figure out why don't multicams work for me the way they used to, that I'm not necessarily relating to the stories, but I do relate to the relationships in them and like the emotions behind them. And like, I feel emotional now just like it's sincerely such a powerful, great show, and I don't know why. I don't relate to a lot of those stories. And like if I were to want to do a multicam, what advice would I get from that outside of just you get lucky that it works?
Well, I think the great part about the Miss Pat show is that you have a creator, which is me, who's based off of my life. So I have a lot of unique stories. And another great part is my co-creator is
Tell me his name again, I forget.
His name is Jordan E. Cooper. He does a lot of he does play. He's a playwright.
Yeah.
So I think with the stories that I've been through in life and with his playwright and his brains, together we brought together, the Miss Pat show. A lot of that stuff, looking in the mirror, and it was actually a person on the other side. I don't think nobody else could have thought of that but Jordan, because it's in his minds. And, he listened to all the stories that I had to tell in my life. Me personally, if I was directing the episode, which I don't care to direct, I probably would have put it in a mirror and did a special effect. But for having that little girl in front of me to do that scene was so powerful for me. I felt it. And I think the little girl who was acting me at the time also felt it. And it trickled down to the audience, because by the time that scene was over, everybody was in tears.
I do think there is something to that, like a playwright, maybe this is an obvious thing because multicams are stage plays, but I think that's a big part of it. It's a play.
Yes. And we run it like a play.
Yeah.
We jump from room to room or scene to scene. And it's, I'm so grateful that my first show was a multicam, because I'm a comedian, so I needed that audience. Because when we're just rehearsing, my spirit is just like, when that audience, when those 200 and some people get there on Friday, I'm ready to go. I come to life because I'm a comic. And I think That's the first time a multicam has ever been shot in Atlanta, Georgia, in front of a live studio audience. So they really appreciate it.
My first show was a multicam, and I haven't been on one since. And I miss that. Having an audience there is really special.
I love a multicam. I've been to many tapings of single cam, and they're long, they're boring. And if you try, to me, when you do a single cam as a comedy, you have nobody to verify that the jokes is funny.
Yeah, I get I disagree. It's different. You don't get that audience validation.
Yes.
But, I mean, when you're with your friends, you laugh. Like, you don't need... I love acting so much. And single cam stuff, like when you hear the people behind the camera laughing or when you're laughing during rehearsal, it's a different thing. It's a different sense of acting. Like, I feel like when you're on a multicam, it's performance close to stand-up.
Yes.
Anyway, I feel like the need to defend it because single cam. I mean, do you watch single cams?
I'm quite sure I do.
But are you not a big TV watcher though?
I'm not a big TV watcher.
Yeah, I love television, and there's so many. I mean, New Girl is one of my favorite shows, and that's a single cam. And I'm also friends with some of those people, and I've seen and also when you watch the bloopers of The Office or something, it's just so much fun. But your show is you don't necessarily cry in every episode.
No.
But it is one of those shows where it's like...
emotion.
Yeah.
Damn near every episode is emotion. I mean, because it's just, we really want to talk about, we really wanted to talk about things that everyday people go through. Like I have an episode where a middle-aged woman got an abortion. I've had 2 abortions myself, but I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't have it by my husband, or I didn't have it in my 50s, but I had a girlfriend that had an abortion when she was in her 50s. So, and
she got pregnant in her 50s?
It was close to 50, yes. And it was her choice. And that's why we did the episode. And then when I went to him and I said, Jordan, I know somebody who this happened to. I won't say it, but I know somebody who, I won't say their name, but I know somebody who this happened to. So I think we need to talk about that. You in your late 40s and you get pregnant, you don't want to, some women want to keep the baby and some women don't. So it should be all choice. And it was a whole abortion episode. Like, who are you to tell me about my body? Just because I'm married to you don't mean you own me. Don't mean you have the right over my body. I mean, you could be married and get into bed with your wife and she don't want to have sex with you and you force her to. That's rape. And so that's the message we tried to...
I support that point of view.
And, that's the message we tried to send. In most of those episodes, especially from season 1 to 3, is things I had been through or known somebody had been through. And I think that's why the Miss Pat Show resonate with the audience. No matter what color you are, all race of people come over to BET Plus for the Miss Pat Show. Believe it or not, all kind of people. I'm a very liberal type person, but I have a lot of conservatives that go over there and watch that show and inbox me. I love my show. I love your show, Miss Pat, but I don't like that other bullshit you be talking about. But it's okay, because I try to create something for everybody.
If you believe that people should be able to do what they want with their bodies, in real life, would you have a conflict with one of your kids wanting to donate his kidney?
No, I mean, for his daddy, I would say my opinion. But if he gonna run out there and open his asshole and let them take his kidney for a daddy,
I don't think you know how kidneys are taken out.
Well, wherever it come out of. If he want to do it and he's old enough of age, that's fine with me. But I'm a mom, so I'm always gonna give you my opinion. I'm always gonna try to guide you and tell you what I think is best for you. But in the end, if you're grown, hey, you know what's best for you, or you got to go out there and learn it the hard way.
I don't remember the details of this story. Also, pardon me. Look away. Look away.
Okay.
But my buddy John, told me.
Yeah, like he was naked.
Wow, Miss Pat is perfect. Almost as perfect as the jeans. Perfect jeans.
What I love about the perfect gene isn't just the way they look. I like the way they feel. I like that the waist feels like it's a little bit of an elastic. So it's not like it's going to fall off you and reveal your wink cock or your hairy pussy. But what it will do is make sure it feels like, oh, I could go out to a fancy dinner while wearing pants, but feel like I'm wearing pajamas and I could go to sleep in these in my sloppy cock or hairy pussy.
I'm a goblin on the go. I need a kind of gene that's going to be good for me. On stage, being a rock star, being a comedian, sitting down all day in a podcast, or at the office. I need my boss, Brad, to not be like, John, when are you going to get some pants on?
Jokes aside, because this sounds like we're being silly because of the no pants stuff, I do want to say they're a fantastic gene, and my dad is wearing them all the time now. Now, I know what you're thinking. They probably have 2 or 3 fits, right?
They'll probably have 2 or 3 fits,
Which
right?
ain't bad. You got some options.
No, that's pretty
6 fits, range from 26 to 50-inch waist, lengths up to 38, giving you 5,000 plus ways to find your perfect match. At The Perfect Gene, you never have to force yourself to make jeans work with the body you're, and you might like this word, rocking.
Rotten.
For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectgene.nyc or Google The Perfect Gene and use code TYSO15 for 15% off. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code TYSO15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. You owe me a Red Bull.
Oh.
Fuck your khakis and get the perfect gene.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll be a Red Bull. Miss Pat, you're hilarious.
This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Jinx, you owe me a Red Bull. So I was at your website a couple years ago before you updated it, and it was confusing. I hated it.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was pretty complicated to make. Would you agree with any of what I just said?
Absolutely. It was just so stressful building an entire website from scratch, dude.
Do you speak HTML or do you only speak English and Goblin? Flash. Who even remembers that stuff? What's great about Squarespace is you could go there and you could pick from templates. You could have an AI assist help to kind of just walk you through what you want to do.
I was in HTML.
That's actually really funny. RickGlassman.com. Check it out. And by the way, Squarespace. I was using Squarespace before they were sponsoring me. It's just simple. It's easy. It's efficient. I like it.
I was using Squarespace when they were a circle.
Dude, save it for the pod. I go to Squarespace. I go to my account manager. It's all right there. I can go to my pages, my products, my analytics. It's so, not only is it easy to use, not just because I've been using it, it truly is intuitive. You go out, you figure it out. It's very simple. Now, here's the best part. You can go to squarespace.com/TYSO for a free trial offer. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code TYSO for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Jinx, you owe me another Red Bull. Now, here's the best part. That was the best part. I'm just going to tell you two again. That's squarespace.com/TYSO for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code TYSO. Save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. You owe me a Red Bull. Now, we're going to go back to Miss Pat. But before we do, I want to ask all my listeners, if you're just listening at home, go get yourself a glass of Paul Newman's lemonade. I love Paul Newman's lemonade with a little bit of ice. Or if you want to put some water in a mug and then pour the water out, and then put it in the freezer. You get yourself a frosted mug, throw in some lemonade in that. I like to put a little lemon zest. You know what I've been doing? I've been blending a lemonade, pineapples, and I mean, I've done it with blueberry. I haven't been doing it, but doing it with blueberry, it was awesome. So anyway, that's Miss Pat on the Take Your Shoes Off podcast. We're coming right back. And not right now, but soon, check me out on GobbleCon's podcast at youtube.com/gobblecon.nyc. There's a lot of N-words in your show.
Yes.
And I don't remember if I'm telling this story right. I feel like I have to ask him, but I don't think it matters. But I remember he told me a story where one of the actors, it wasn't enough people there during one of the table reads, and he had to play one of the actors that had that word in there a whole bunch. I think this was his first year on it. So obviously he didn't say it, but he said there was so many times, and one, I just think that's really like an awkward, funny situation to be in. But also that word, I mean, I'm in comedy. I grew up watching a lot of black comedians. That word is not just a word in people's act. It's a punchline a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's like a point of view. and it's a very strong thing they're saying. And I'm curious if, just like jokes, where you go through the run-throughs, and like if a joke falls flat, sometimes, at least my experience, rewrite or cut.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is any strategy with that word where it's like, hey, let's not use it here so it lands here. Does that make sense? Something I never thought about until watching your show, because it is a punchline a lot of the time.
Well, and it's also, if you notice, we try to cuss. We don't just curse to be cursing. You know, it has to make sense. You've seen shows where they're just saying it for no reason.
Well, it is hard to know the intention of why somebody's saying it. Sometimes it works. I bet you there's some people that watch it and like it and want more swearing, and there's some people that watch it and they get turned off by it. So it's so subjective. So how do you know when that works?
We just do us, because if you try to please the audience, I mean, it's like if you bake the cake. The people who like your cake is gonna come. The people who don't like your cake is gonna go away. So,
pardon me the interruption. This is something I don't mean this specifically for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying strategy as comedy writers and performers. Are there times where it's written and sometimes it's not, and you just add it for an effect?
Sometimes yes, and then sometimes we remove it. We like, oh, that's just too much. So, and I tell you, if we write 10 N-words in an episode and we hit the flow, and then as we performing it in front of, as we practice it, we'll get together and say, oh, that's just too much, take it away. So
there's so many layers in it, and it's so interesting, and it's not my culture. And even bringing this conversation up, I'm asking because I'm curious as a writer, but like, I mean, there was one of them where it was being said, and then Quentin Tarantino uses that word a lot. And there was a bit where you call your son Quentin Tarantino.
Oh.
And it was just like, there's so many layers and bits to this. It's truly such a good show. And I have people on all the time, and I watch podcasts, and a lot of times people gas people up just to promote their thing. I don't know if I take pride in this, but I'm very sincere with like, hey, I saw this, I like this, or whatever. Like, I'm selling the show. I'm telling you, it is such a fantastic show. And gives hope to multicams again. And I just think there's so many layers to it. And I want to know how much is intentional, how much is chemistry, and how much is luck. You know what I mean? I mean, there's got to be all of it, but
I think it's a lot of chemistry. I don't know about no luck. I think we got pretty good writers. I mean, if you watch this show, you'll see. Like I said, we'll put so much in there, and then we'll take so much back. I mean, I'm Black, so I know how to be Black. And that's something nobody can ever take from me. So I know what a real Black conversation feel like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm in a house and I call my kid a N-word or a nigger or whatever, I know how much to use it because I use it every day. Set your Black ass down. Get your Black ass over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nigga please or whatever, you know. So I think why it works is because when I'm going through the strip, if you're writing for me, I can easily say, that's not how I would say that. Or I wouldn't say this like that.
Yeah.
And
do the other actors feel that they could do the same? Because it's your show. It's going to be easier for first on the call sheet to say, I wouldn't say it like this. I don't like that. Have you had conversations with other actors where they say, hey, this doesn't feel natural? Or do they maybe not even bring that up to you?
I've had not much because one thing about me, I have everybody around me is so trained. You have the daddy who's come out of theater. You have Tammy Roman who's been on TV forever. Each one of those kids is, they've been on movies or they've been trained and they went to school for it. So not really. And I think the good thing about this show is that the writers knows the actor's voice. That's what I think. That's what you trying to ask me. How do we know how to land it so good with what they say? And I think it's just the writers.
It's
they
very
know.
well written, and that's easier to do for the star of the show to know your voice. I mean, literally, you could watch it and it's written in your voice. But it does seem like they know the voices of at least the wheelhouses of these other actors because they're all
funny.
Yeah.
So when I first got the Miss Pat show, and one of the things I told the co-creator, I said, a lot of times when comedians get show, only the star is really funny. And I said, I don't want that to be. My whole family is funny. The way we rag on each other on that show, that's how we do at the house. My son is funny, my daughters is funny, my husband is funny. Everybody is funny. So that's why you see everybody has a punchline. Or you'll see everybody have their moment in an episode where they get to shine. Because that's my real family. And I think we've had the same writers for at least 3 or 4 of us from the beginning. So everybody
That's
knows.
great.
They
To
knows
keep
the
them
voice.
coming back, yeah.
Yeah, I don't change writers because once you learn the voice of this show, this is not an easy show. You know, I've had people come over and just write cussing word because they think that's how I talk. No, I do curse, but it's out of love. It's out of trying to teach you something. I'm not just walking around the house, motherfucker. I'm not doing that. I'm making a point when I'm cursing.
I have a lot of comedy friends, writers. John and Allison, who work on your show, are always my go-to whenever I'm doing something. If I want help with something, I mean, they are joke machines.
Yes.
They're really, really good. You had a bit, you talked about how this is how I talk and this is how you talk to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
There was a scene where your son asks you to leave the room and I don't remember what episode it was. It might have been the pilot. Your son asks you to leave the room and he talks to you in a way that is
disrespectful.
Yes. And I remember specifically when I learned, we're different cultures and you learn about different cultures from either watching things and hope it's authentic or just your friends, right? And I grew up in a school with, it was Jews, Black people, and Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
Just those 3, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But so I had a lot of Black friends and I remember certain moments growing up where I learned something like, oh, this isn't my friend, this is Black culture. I mean, it's, I'm maybe being stereotypical, but that's what I noticed. I remember one of them was, it was the first time I love the movie Bebe's Kids. And I remember I learned it at my buddy Lance's house and his mom, he said something to his mom. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't a lot. It was not, okay, I'm so sorry. Look away. You don't really have to. He said something that,
he's naked.
he said something that wasn't disrespectful in my mind. I don't know. Maybe it was, will you look away? I'm blowing my nose. It was something just like that, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the mom didn't even say anything. He stopped himself. He went cold. And he said, I'm sorry, ma'am, for whatever it was. And in that moment, I had a conversation with him. And then I've heard other stuff. And it's like the way, I've heard people do bits, the way white kids talk to their moms versus Black kids talk to their moms. So just when he said, get out of my room, Mom, I just thought to myself, oh, I have a feeling I know where this joke is going. And you were walking out, but instead of walking out and closing the door when you left, you used him to close the door and close it in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a funny physical performance, but it was also like, oh, he shouldn't have spoken to her this way.
That's
Obviously.
right.
Those moments where, and pardon me for nerding out this specific kind of question, but there's 2 things happening. There's my son would not talk to me this way with me being okay with it.
That's right.
And then there's the physical comedy of it.
Yes.
A lot of jokes are found in the blocking and in the rehearsal. Is that something that you knew you were going to close the door and talk to him that way? Did you know that you were going to use him to do it? Is that pitched to you?
I want to say that was, I want to say I was supposed to throw him up against the wall, but it just so happened the door closed.
So that was an accidental find?
I don't remember, but I think it's in my comic mind. I just slammed the door with him because that was a pilot. It was the first time I ever act. So one of the things that kept playing in my mind is, what would I do in real life?
Uh-huh.
What would I do if this boy tried to handle me in real life? And that's why when you saw me grab him up in the chest and I threw him up against the door, it was so funny because I thought I had hurt him. If you look at his face,
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, he was shocked, and I didn't want to stop the scene, but I was like, I'm acting, and I'm just being a Black mama. Yeah, we didn't do the physical part in the rehearsal. I kind of jacked him up in the rehearsal, but then I just kept playing through my head, what would I do as a Black mother if my son really talked to me like this? And so I ended up slamming his ass into the door, pouring my finger in his face and saying what I had to say. And if you look in Theodore's face, he's like, what the hell? And so when they said cut.
He's great, by the way.
Oh, he is. Once they said cut, I was like, oh my God, did I hurt you? And he was like, no.
Yeah.
But that was playing in my head the whole time I was doing my lines. Like, did I do it too hard? Because I know how I would jack up my real child.
Do you hit your kids? Did you when they were growing up?
Hell yeah, I whooped them.
What kind of hitting?
I spanked them.
So it was a formal all right, it's time for hitting. It wasn't as much of a reactive. You hit something. There was a specific. Why the butt?
I think the butt's supposed to be beat, don't it?
Eleanor Roosevelt. When I was growing up, I didn't get hit too much, but when I did, it wasn't like, all right, bend over, smack. It was just wherever they were, it was smacks
Sometimes
or
it's that
pushes against
upside
stuff.
the head, pulling the ear, the thigh, whatever. I mean, if I'm mad enough, I sling
Pulling
the
the
belt,
thigh.
pulling it here in the thigh, pulling the ear,
Okay, pulling the ear and then what, the thigh?
hitting the thigh.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I remember my dad once.
pinching.
My dad once, he got mad at something I said to my mom and gave me a wedgie, but like picked me up by my underpants and it was like off the ground. And I remember my mom got mad at my dad. He said, because you could really hurt him. And he hurt, that was one of the worst, that was like, and I know that was reactive. Like that was picking somebody up like that.
Did he put splinters in your booty hole?
Splinters?
I mean,
Isn't that
maybe
from wood?
cotton, maybe thread. I can imagine you small little Jewish boy, and he pulling the pants up between your ass. Did he cut your crack?
Yeah. And it got my balls a little bit, but it was the sack without a ball got out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah, but
so you down to one nut?
well, coincidentally, I have a varicocele in my left testicle. Do you know what that is?
No, I do not, sir.
I could talk about it.
Well, if you want to tell me what a varicocele is, I'm learning stuff from you today.
Varicose veins, you've heard of those? It's like when
You
people
just got one thick vein on your nut?
it's a lot of veins. And there's extra veins on my left side of my testicle. Here, let me show you.
No, please don't show me.
I was just going to show you. I was just going to take my
I don't
pants
want to
down.
see your balls, sir.
Oh, okay.
I know the varicose vein, and I see your nut in my mind. So it's a little white nut
Thank
with
you.
a whole bunch of thick veins. I'm quite sure that the veins are bigger than the nut.
So the way you said little, I just want you to know is disrespectful. We say smaller
Oh, I'm sorry, smaller.
because it's smaller than the right, but it's not. It's still a nice nut. Well, to be honest with you, it is actually a bit small, and it's sometimes an insecurity of mine when I'm making love to somebody new. I don't do this anymore, but I used to feel the need to say, I want to let you know that my left testicle is. So let me explain. There's
Well,
extra veins, and it surrounds it, so it makes it warmer. So it could cause fertility issues. I had it removed in 11th grade. Came back.
You had your.
Not the varicocele, not the testicle.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay.
And there's there's veins, and it was when I was younger, it was surrounding the testicle, so it didn't let it grow. So my left testicle is smaller than my right. And when I would, a woman, a consenting, strong woman would blow me and suck on my balls, I would get a little insecure that she would feel how small the left one is in her mouth. So for a while, I would not let girls suck my balls. And then I just
Who's
realized,
sucking balls?
is this a cultural thing?
I don't fucking
Wait a
know.
minute.
I think it's a generational thing because I don't think they were sucking balls when I was coming up.
Well, I can say that it is multicultural ball sucking.
Okay. You been with a black woman?
I have.
Did she suck your small ball?
That was during a time when I was insecure about getting my balls sucked,
Oh.
but she was on her way, and I had to stop her. Or not stop her, I had to let her know. That's where I would say, I just want to let you know that my left ball is smaller than my right ball. And they'd be like, you're so hot, Rick.
Who would have noticed it?
That's the thing. They say that I didn't even notice. I don't know if they're being nice.
Because when they cold, they small anyway.
But why are they cold?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Do your nuts get cold?
Do they wobble to and fro? That doesn't rhyme, but it makes sense. Yeah, my nuts get cold. I'm a guy.
Sometimes I think you be talking to yourself.
That's why I'm saying you don't need a live studio audience. I've gotten my balls sucked while I was warm.
Okay.
I can't. So like this is fun for me because this is also, I think this is important to get out there for people to know. You should get yourself, if you notice that your left testicle is smaller or you feel some veins, it's a varicocele, you can ask your doctor.
Your skin is white. It's easy to feel veins and it's thin. So
My skin is thin?
ain't your
Honey,
nut
not in this
sack-
business.
Huh?
In this business, you have a thick skin. Are you saying
Well,
that
not your balls. Your balls don't do no writing.
my ball skin is thick as fuck? Let me show you something.
No, please don't show me
all
that,
right,
sir.
all right.
Please. I do not want to see no penis I can see through. I don't want to see that.
So you're saying that black people's balls, it's harder to see their veins than white people's balls?
It's harder for you to see my veins now through my skin, but I can see your veins all through your skin.
But the veins in a ball sack are below the epidermis. I learned that word from your show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
About epidermis or ball veins?
The epidermis and the ball sack.
In the episode where your sister was having the hair stuff, and she puts it in your daughter's hair, and it feels like tiny knives are stabbing in, and she's doing all her scientific talk about epidermis.
Oh, that's a smart child. I don't know nothing about her lines.
Okay. Well, then let me just close this by saying the veins in your ball sack are around the balls. You can't really see them, but you can feel them.
Okay. So you check your ball sack for lumps.
Well, my doctor in high school checked my ball sack. He noticed it. I didn't know because at the time I wasn't feeling that many balls. So that's what balls feel like.
Did they remove your ball?
They removed the varicocele. They went in, they cut the veins. But then it
so
came back.
So how's it working for you now?
Can I show you something?
No.
You keep saying no. Do you think are you just playing with me or do you think I'm going to take my pants off?
I don't know what you're going to do. So I'm just going to say no because I don't want to see nothing, okay?
They got rid of my veins. The veins came back.
Okay.
I'll plug season 5. I got to blow my nose again.
I wish I could show you season 5.
Are you done filming it?
I am. You back?
Well, I don't want to turn this whole thing into ball jokes because that wasn't my intention. I was really wanting to talk to you about my balls, about something for real.
Okay.
And then it became ball bits. But at the end of the day, I do think it's important that, we have a lot of people on the left and on the right, they're only surrounded by their own chambers and they're only hearing about stuff that like this and this. And it's important that people come together. And I mean that as a pun. However, when you have apparently black people that don't know about white people's balls, I do think it's important that this conversation happens.
I don't think black people care about white people's balls.
And that's the problem.
Do you care about black people's balls?
Who are you talking to? Do I care about it?
Yeah.
Honey, I wrote my thesis on it. Let's do the audience after. So this is your first acting job.
Yes.
It's now the #1 show on the network.
Yes.
You're going into season 5, and that means all of your acting experience is multicam.
Yes. I've done a few things since then, but yes, all of my acting is mostly multicam.
You guys laugh sometimes in the show, and
A lot.
I can't tell. I don't know what's real and what's character, but my intuition tells me that when there's those laughters and those smiles, they're real. And I think that's a great thing to leave in.
Well, you know what? That was the co-creator Jordan E. Cooper idea. He's because he grew up on multicam, and he just loved it. And at first I was like, you gonna leave people laughter in? And it's so funny because if you ever come see a live episode, you can hear everybody laughing. I can tell when my kids are laughing, when Jordan or Patrick or anybody's laughing, I know they laughter. So when you see us really laughing in those things and he leave them in, especially when we break character. And we be trying not to now.
I haven't seen it to a point, and I haven't seen all the episodes, but I haven't seen it to where it felt like it was even breaking character once.
Well,
can you give an example of when you feel it's breaking character?
Oh, you'll see me laughing all the time. I'll be breaking character, but they just keep it in.
Yeah, it doesn't read to me. I mean, I believe that it's you laughing, but it also, to me, works for the character. So I don't think of it as technically breaking character. Well, I think of it as people being real and having multiple emotions.
Exactly, but they call it breaking character.
Sure.
Where you get Tammy Roman, who never, even she will hold her laughter until they say cut.
Which Tammy
That's
Roman
my
is...
sister.
She's great.
Yes, she is. That's my sister. So, and then you get where you get the son Theodore, and you always see a little smirk on his face because he just loves comedy, and sometimes he just can't hold it. And like here in season 5, which is hilarious, and in the first episode, you can see him laughing so many times. Which, to you, because you wasn't there doing the filming, it looks naturally, but to me, I know he don't supposed to be laughing there.
Yeah. In real life, people tell a joke. Sometimes they laugh, sometimes they don't. But you could be in a fight with somebody and get a little bit of a smirk out of them and then like, fuck, I don't want to laugh, whatever. But those emotions are layered. And I think that's real life. And when I watch shows that somebody tells a joke and then that's a funny joke and the other person, even if they don't laugh, they don't acknowledge that joke. It's just joke. It's just like, that's television in a bad way, in an unbelievable way to me. I think that showing laughter just adds more layers to it. And it's just, I've thought about this before, but shows don't really, Seinfeld showed it sometimes, but shows don't show laughter. And I wonder if it's because the editors or direct showrunner think that it takes away from the performance.
Yes.
I think I think that's another layer of what makes your show, not that that's what all shows do, but what makes your show feel like I believe it.
Well,
is that.
Well, and I agree with you. And that was a conversation me and the co-creator, which is a showrunner now, had. I was like, you sure you want to leave this in? And he was like, it feels natural. So when you look at it, you feel like, now if you busting out laughing, well, why the hell the actor ain't busting out laughing? Like if you watch the episode where me and Tammy go inside the beauty salon and because this girl wants to rip her off with her booth rent and I had to be on the cover. I couldn't stop laughing because I really didn't know how to go on the cover. And you can see it all on my face and you can see Tammy like, what the hell are you doing, Pat? But she rolled with it. And you can, if you look around in that scene, you can see other people with a little smirk on their face too, because it's funny. And I think when people see the actors laughing or whatever you want to call it, breaking character, it makes them, really come into that scene with you. Hey, they're real. I feel like this can happen to me at a beauty salon.
Yeah. So the difference to me between laughing and breaking character, and they're not mutually exclusive, is, and this isn't necessarily the right thing, but just my mind of when it works and doesn't. Breaking character is almost always funny if you believe them. Like when you watch somebody on live television and they break, it's funny because you're seeing the humanity of it, right? It could take you out of the scene a little. Like sometimes on stage, I'm trying to do a bit and it makes myself laugh. And now I'm like, well, now they know I'm joking. And I just feel like I can't keep going with it anymore. So sometimes if somebody laughs and like they try and hide the laugh and try not to laugh, it's like, oh, I'm seeing a performer doing something that they're not wanting to do. Okay, here's an example. If when you're laughing going in the beauty salon and then you turn away or you cover your mouth or you go like that, I'm watching a performer trying to hide their emotions. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But when somebody laughs and they're present and they're allowing themselves to laugh and they're laughing in character, to me, it doesn't take away. This doesn't matter to you. I just think about this stuff and I like talking about it. But I do think there's something to not hiding the emotion. Like acting coaches will tell you, when you have a scene and it's written that you're supposed to cry, like some performers are trying to cry and you could see them trying to cry or their eyes water a little. So they're blinking to try and get it to go down their face. And that's them trying to force an emotion. I feel that way with laughter. I saw an interview with Sandler once. He said the hardest thing to do as an actor is to fake laugh.
Oh.
And I very much connect to that, right?
Yes. I don't think I ever fake laugh.
Well, good.
But I don't know how.
But if a scene calls for it,
yeah.
It's tough to do.
When I first got the Miss Pat show, that show actually belongs to Fox. So Fox is where I originally sold the Miss Pat show along with Lee Daniel and Ron Howard Company. Imagine. So Hulu,
Imagine produces it?
Yeah, it's Imagine.
I don't know. That's cool. I saw Brian Grazer's part of it.
Yeah, so it's Imagine. So we go over to the Fox lot and Hulu purchased the Miss Pat show. As we about to shoot the Miss Pat show on the Fox lot, we decided to go and watch some other shows. Some multicams, some singer cams, some shows, a bunch of pilots were being shot at that time. And which was crazy to me is they had people that's called hired laughters.
In the audience.
In the audience.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So they had these group of people that come in and they had the script and they told them what a joke was. So I said, well, maybe this is just for today because this is rehearsal. So you come back on the main... You come back on the main day when it's a live studio audience, and those fake laughters are still there. And I was like, holy shit. They hire people to laugh. So I remember looking at Jordan and say, we're not going to do this. If it's not real, we're going to keep writing until somebody laugh. And that blew me away. That blew me away. I did not know that they hire fake laughters.
I mean, you've seen things where like there's an applause sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comedy specials are done that way. Paid audiences. Yeah, if people can't fill the full audience, I mean, it's not
What's the purpose of shooting a special then?
Well, let's say you're filming, you're doing 2 tapings and it seats 500 people and you sell 400 seats per show. Instead
That's
of leaving the
enough to
100.
tape in.
What's that?
That's enough to tape in.
I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying logistically, this is how stuff's done. Audience fillers.
Yeah, I know those. I see them all the time at the award shows.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, they're instructed. Like you guys have a warm-up? Not a warm-up.
We do. We have a warm-up person.
Yeah, is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Where like even during scene changes and everything, they keep the audience. Yeah, so like they'll still even tell people, so this thing is about to come up. Make sure you laugh at it.
No, we don't say that. We don't say that.
Mm-hmm.
We never ask you to laugh. We hope you go. We know you're gonna laugh. And if you don't laugh, guess what? The writers are on the floor. We're gonna rewrite it until you laugh.
And that's the difference. Sometimes an audience will do things like this.
Yes.
You think there's ever any shows where the warm-up people tell them to do that? Or is it just laugh?
Well, we allow real emotions. So we had an episode.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I am. This is not an attractive thing, either physically or just to be talking to somebody.
It's human. You got shit in your nose. But
Eleanor Roosevelt.
We had an episode where Junebug was damn it, I forgot what I was about to say again.
Letting people have real emotions.
Okay. What's the episode Junebug was in?
Nothing to drink?
No, I don't want anything to drink, but you got a nice refrigerator.
Isn't that fun?
Yes. Damn it, I was about to tell you about an episode where Junebug was in. I don't forgot.
Well then, I guess we'll just have to talk about the difference between white balls and black balls.
No, I don't want to talk about no more balls. But we can keep talking about the sitcom.
Do you, are you on a podcast run at the moment where you're doing a lot of stuff to promote the show?
I'm doing a lot of podcasts, yes. And I just did Jimmy Kimmel last night and I did Jennifer Hudson.
Ooh, fun.
It was fun.
Do you know her?
I know her from being on the show. I've never hung out with her.
What is it? What's her fan army name? Jennifer Hudson Heads?
I don't know what her fan is.
I'm a Jennifer Hudson head.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Well, I call my fans the crack babies.
The crack babies?
Yes.
You weren't a crack baby. You raised crack babies, or you were a crack baby.
No, my mom, crack was not around in 72.
Okay.
So,
I know. I know. Crack came around 86.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm hip.
Yeah, I see.
So, also, and pardon me, you probably talked about this stuff on other pods, because I don't know your life story outside of your stand-up and the show.
Mm-hmm.
You got pregnant when you were 13.
Yes. Gave birth at 14.
And gave birth at 14. And
got pregnant again at 14, gave birth at 15.
Same man.
Mm-hmm.
Who then shot you.
Yes, he was a married man.
Right. Yet your joke where you say that because you met him when you were 12, you were the only kid in elementary who had a boyfriend with a car.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife came to talk to you to have an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an ice cream truck and asked if you wanted any ice cream. You're 13. So funny, wild. 2 questions. One is you said in real life you had abortions.
Yes.
What is the frame of mind to where a person who's willing to have a child at 14 and 15?
Yes.
You would think this is obviously not, it's a bit of a blanketed statement, but if you were going to have the abortion, you would have had it then. Then time goes on and you're like, okay, I don't want to have.
I couldn't afford it. Time was hard.
Wait, you couldn't afford the abortion?
I couldn't afford. Once you have a baby, yeah, everybody got a motherly instinct in them. It's, women do, and I think once you give birth, that instinct wakes up. So I have 2 kids by this married man who, at first I was like, oh my God, I just love him. I thought he was the world. He's the first person to ever say he loved me and all the shit he took me through. So by the time I have that first baby, I'm just know he's going to be there for me. He's going to in my head, I'm a little girl and I got these dreams,
What dreams?
He's going to be the daddy that I never had to my kids. And so, I'm just living in la la land. Then I get pregnant again. And then I'm growing up. Now, mind you, I done had a baby. So
And who's helping you raise the baby?
A little bit of my mom, but really I'm on my own. I'm making fake ID. I'm getting jobs. I done dropped out of school, 8th grade.
Is that when you started selling drugs or were you selling before then?
No, that's when I started selling drugs after my second child. So I'm out here trying to survive. Yeah. So I'm all picking up all this street knowledge. And I'm realizing that I got 2 kids that I cannot take care of. I get a welfare check and I'm selling drugs. I got an 8th grade education. And I'm thinking like, how am I going to keep these kids from getting molested? How am I going to keep these kids from going through what I went through? So when I got pregnant by him again, because here I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm in love. I just want to be loved, but the man don't love me. And then when I got pregnant, I was like, I can't keep no baby.
Was the 3rd pregnancy with him again?
All of them was with him. Yeah.
Well, you have 2 kids with your husband, don't you?
Yeah. I have 2 kids. I kept those.
You said you had 2 abortions?
Mm-hmm. By him.
He got you pregnant 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
What was the moment that I'm not going to let him get me pregnant anymore? Was it before or after the shooting?
It was after the shooting.
That'll do it.
It wasn't really about him shooting me because I thought that was love. I thought he loved me because he had many girlfriends, and so if he shoot me, I feel like I was special.
So logically, I could appreciate how that doesn't make sense, but emotionally, but what you connect, what love is, could you explain?
Love to me was abuse. Let me back up. So I don't know if you ever heard me say this. My mama said, if a man don't hit you, he don't love you. So I thought every punch was love. I thought every mistreatment was love.
Did your mom hit you?
Yeah. And my mom also got hit. So she passed me down the trauma that was passed down to her. So when you tell a little girl, if a man don't punch you in the eye, he don't love you. So I thought, if I could make him jealous or he beat on me, I supposed to accept it.
Did you feel loved by your mom growing up?
No, at all.
But if your mom hit you, which meant she loves you, but you didn't feel loved by her, why does that translate differently to somebody else?
It didn't translate till I got older. I didn't know. It was way...
I'm sorry, just because I want to understand. When you were 13...
My mom wasn't whooping me at 13 anymore.
But when you were... Oh, okay. So
by this time...
So when you were 13, you thought being hit was love. When you were younger, you didn't. Being younger and being hit conditioned you to feel that way?
No, my mama had conditioned me early on. Probably, from birth probably until I met him. She always whooped us really rough. She's always talked down to us. She always mistreated us. I do think she did love us, but she showed us the love that was shown to her. Hurt people until somebody break that cycle. So she passed it on down. So when I got in this relationship, and my mama never used the word, I love y'all. He was the first person that said, I love you. So I fell over here because I was like, finally, I got somebody to love me. And back to why I didn't abort my first child and why I aborted my 3rd child, because I thought in my head, if I gave birth to this baby, finally I will have somebody in my life that really loves me. Because this child, I'm raising this child. Nobody else can poison this child against me. So this child gonna come out straight, just loving me. And it's a love that I needed, I wanted, I had never had. So when I had my daughter, I knew I finally had somebody that loved me. And when I had my son, about not even 15 months later, here I am 15 years old. I'm underage. I can't get an abortion. And so I become emancipated minor through the Georgia, my caseworker. She helped me become emancipated minor. So I got my own welfare check and my own Medicaid. And at the time, people don't even know this, you could get an abortion on Medicaid. Well, when I got pregnant again by him, I took my Medicaid slip down there and got an abortion each time.
You have a joke in your show where you said, because the difference between your first 2 kids and your second 2 kids, and you said
Medicaid and Blue Cross.
those are your Medicaid kids. You have to raise them different than the Blue Cross kids.
Yes.
That's where that comes from?
That's exactly where it's come from.
It's such a good show.
Thank you.
It really is. And hearing you talk about, I believe that this is all coming from real stuff, but hearing you talk about it and how directly related it is, not just inspired by, which is not a problem anyway. I'm sure a lot of stuff is. Like you said, you take stories from other people. But like, man, that's wild. And there's another joke too where you apologize to your cousin for getting you into it, but you got out.
For getting her into it.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
the drugs. And she said, you're the 1%, but the other 98%, we didn't. And then that joke, it wasn't for another 20 seconds before it's revealed that, it's 99%, not 98%. But I liked about that joke is 1, the joke itself, but 2, it's a character joke. It's not just a punchline. It's at least to me, commentary on this person who is not well off. Not that being stupid and being uneducated are the same thing by any means, but here's somebody who did not get out and doesn't know that simple math. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but then
it was a joke.
But the way it translated to me was, yes, it's a joke, but your sister didn't call it out until she left the room instead of saying it to her, which I thought was a cool choice because 1, it lets the viewer like, are they going to acknowledge this? So it builds that tension. But also it was something where you two were out and she isn't. And I just thought that it was just, and maybe that was just an accidental thing, but the commentary on that and like to then at the end of that episode, you seeing you girls as kids, which by the way, those actors are what, 12, 13 years old? And I mean, I would love to see how that was directed just because of the language and the intensity of it.
When they first started it, and that scene was so emotional for me because it made me, it took me back there. And I remember the first time they rehearsed it, and I went over to Jordan and I said, I don't feel it. And so I go up to their parents and I say, do you mind if they say a few cursing words? And they was like, no, I don't mind.
Why? Because that's what was real?
That's what was real.
Right.
That's what I would have said if I was standing there. Those are the conversations I had with my cousin.
That's the example of I meant about the cussing feels so intentional.
Yes. So as I go up to the little girls and I said, I tell them, I tell them how to deliver the lines because this is me and my cousin Boo at the time in my life. And, how I got out and how, she felt like I left her behind and I owed her something. And I remember standing there, even in that scene, watching it, fucking boo-hooing. Because, I never look at my life as getting out. But when I shot that scene, I felt it. And that was probably the first moment in my life when I realized I did get out.
Was while filming it?
Yes, while filming it, it made me realize I did get out. I did break the cycle. I did change my life. I come from a family, a household of high school dropouts. I dropped out of 8th grade myself and, convicted felon child, being molested, alcoholism, abuse. And I'm standing there and I'm watching these 2 girls tape that scene and I realized I did get out. And my kids have never endured the things that I went through. And I remember walking out that scene, going home that night, and I shed a few tears because I don't sit back and look at my life like, oh, I made it. This is work to me. This is work. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know I was abused until I became a comedian, until everybody was like, what the hell? That story real? That you telling the truth? I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking I'm an inner city kid pregnant by a married man, which was, I thought it happened in everybody. And it does. At first, I thought it only happened to the Black community. And then once I became a comedian, I realized this shit happened in every race of people. What's different with me is I say it out loud. And a lot of people shun for me or they hide from it. And they don't want to talk about it. I know so many people who had kids really young, but their kids don't even know that they had them that young. But I just learned not to be ashamed of anything. And so when I became a comedian, I realized that I had a messed up life. And I said, well, I either embrace my life or I turn my back and act like this stuff never happened. So one day I sat down and I watched Eminem in what was it?
8 Mile?
8 Miles. And he was in that rap
I
battle.
am white. I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with my mom. My best friend is a no good 2-time sorry.
So as he's rapping, as the old boy rapping against him, and they go to that rap battle, and Eminem goes up first, and he says everything about himself, and old boy had nothing to say. And I said, that's the technique I'm gonna take to comedy. I'm gonna tell you everything about me, so you'll never have to ever say anything about me, because I've already put it out there.
And your name is Clarence. You went to a private school.
So that's a technique. That was a healing moment for me watching that Eminem do 8 Miles, and it made me not be ashamed of what I've been through in life, and and it kind of gave me the courage to say it out loud. Stop, because I wasn't doing that at first. When I first started doing comedy, I wasn't telling nobody I had 2 kids by the age of 15. I've been molested, I've been shot, I've been abused. But I said, well, if I don't say it out loud, I'm just going to forever carry this inside of me. And once I started talking about it, it became a healing moment.
Were you doing comedy before you were talking about it and not talking about that stuff?
Yeah, I was doing comedy. I was just talking about BS. Yeah, so after I became a comedian, I started to talk about it. And then I wrote that joke about the Blue Cross Blue Shield. And that's what I did it on Mark Maron podcast and Joe Rogan. And then I went and did all this stuff with developing a show. And so when I met the third writer, which was Jordan Cooper, and he wanted to dig deep. I mean, he wanted to dig deep. And like some stuff we was going to do in season 1, I said, you can't do it. I didn't do it in season 3. My boyfriend molested me. I said, I'm not ready to do that. And we had a whole episode on it in season 1 and I took it out. So it was healing. The more I scream to the top of my voice that I've been molested, I've been mistreated, but it's okay. And that's what I tell people. You can't change the past, but you can control the future. As long as your health is there.
When you said in that moment that to the daughter or to you that like we made it out.
Yes.
I mean, that wasn't just watery eyes. I mean, it's down the face. Even now thinking about it and hearing you say that you, as an artist, hearing you say that you didn't connect with it at first. And you wanted to, obviously. And then you made some altercations, am I saying the right word? Some adjustments.
Adjustments, yes. So I could feel it.
Yeah, and then you feel, and because it felt that way. It felt that way. Watching the performer, do that, like it was that line. One of my best friends, also an ex-girlfriend of mine, Jackie Tone, she's been on this podcast a lot. I remember she told me years ago that when she hears people say, I did it, it makes her emotional. Like, I did it. Like, the acceptance and awareness of accomplishing something that you felt maybe you couldn't or wouldn't. Like, look what I did. That made me think of that. Like, here's a person that in the script is telling the younger self, we're going to be okay. But it felt like it was for you, like, oh my God. So hearing you say that was something that you felt is another reason why I think the show.
Yeah. Now I remember when I asked the co-creator, I was like, can I do it? Can I make these adjustments? And he was like, yeah. And I stood there and I coached the 2 girls. And then I said, okay, now we feel it. Now I feel it. Now we can tape it. Because what I needed to do in that scene is go back to where
the real you or the character?
Are you talking about the drug? Are you talking about the 2 girls who were selling drugs?
Yeah, but you said I needed to go back. Who are you talking about? You were the character.
I needed to. So if you notice in that scene, I was standing there watching the 2 younger girls be us. So I needed to feel them.
Yeah.
So I can go back to where they was at. So that day, standing on that corner on Ashby Grove is where I went to in my mind. That is what I felt. Because me and my cousin sold drugs on that corner. So what y'all saw in that studio is not what I was seeing. I was seeing me and my cousin at 16 and And I think my cousin, a couple years younger than me, at 13 and 16 or something like that, selling drugs. And I'm standing on the side with a TV show, with a pretty successful life saying.
With a what?
With a pretty successful life, looking back at
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what that means. What's that for life?
A pretty successful life, country. Looking back at, the two little girls standing on the corner and saying, we made it. I made it. We out.
Mm-hmm.
And, not one time ever that I thought that I didn't know what I was thinking when I was selling drugs. All I was trying to do was survive. And to look at me where I'm at today, I always say I was chosen to do the things that I did for some reason. Because now all I hear from people, Miss Pat, you don't know how much you healed me. I had a white dude tell me last week in Houston, he said, when you told that story about you putting the dope in your daughter's diaper, he was like, I knew you was real because that's what I used to do. And so these are stories that I had that a lot of people probably would have never said out loud. But it was also healing for me too. From being molested, from having kids, to being abused, to being shot.
Tell me why you got shot. Like, what was going through his mind when he shot you? What happened? What's that story?
Well, I was shot twice. So when
same man?
It's different. The first time I was shot.
It's like, dude,
the first time I was
Larry
shot.
King never asks. So when were you shot? Give me 1 second. It blows his nose.
The first time I was shot by another drug dealer, and it hit me in the breast. And the second time I was shot by him. He hit me with a gun and it went off and it tore some of the back of my head out.
So he was meaning to pistol whip you?
Yes. Yes, I was dating another guy. It was a fight.
It was an accident.
I guess.
I'm joking. Why was he hitting you?
Because he always hit me. Because
and that's him showing love
control.
To you. Did you have an idea as a 14, 15-year-old that he's hitting me, it means he loves me? I understand you believe that. Was there also something where you thought, I don't like what love is?
I had friends around me saying, older friends, like, girl, you crazy as hell. And as the abuse kept going, I watched the movie What Love Got to Do With It.
I don't remember. I know I've seen
Tina
it.
Turner.
Yeah, I don't
that
remember
was
the
her
movie
story,
well enough.
and Ike was beating on her. And I was like...
But you were saying when you saw the Ike stuff, you were like, that's not good. Or you thought, oh, he loves her.
No, I was like, that's what I'm going through. Why am I accepting this shit? Why am I accepting you?
That's what made you realize it?
I mean, it was kind of like an eye-opener.
Yeah.
Because when you're in love with somebody or you think you're in love with somebody and you grew up in the way I grew up, and it was the first person in my life that I really thought loved me, I didn't want to lose that. So I accepted a lot of the bull crap behind it that I thought I was supposed to accept. I know I don't have to accept that. Now, I've been married for 32 years. He ain't never disrespect me and beat on me and treat me the way that last one did.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at life like this. You got to go through something to get to something. And what I did was went through something, and now I got something.
What's love got to do with it? And 8 Mile made you who you are today?
Pretty much.
Your show, you believe, offers that to other people. And is that what you mean by chosen?
Yes. Because, like, everybody can't stand up and say what they've been through in life when they've been through so much trauma and pain. And, people handle it different ways. My sister smoked crack. And I believe the reason why my sister's on crack is to hide the things that we've been through in life. Mm-hmm. The molestation, the beating, the not being loved, the abuse. She dealt with her pain a different way. I dealt with mine probably overeating, and then comedy came along.
How old were you when that happened?
What?
The overeating? No, the comedy.
Probably all my life. I've been doing comedy now for over about 23 years.
I don't know how old you are. And
I'm 53.
Oh, so you started at 30?
I started about 28. About 30.
Were you you weren't talking about this at all before comedy? Were you in therapy?
No, I've never been in therapy. I talked a little bit about it. So I had gotten married. So I talked a little bit about it.
How old were you when you got married?
29.
So you started comedy and got married around the same time?
Yeah, around the same time. Then 4 or 5 years later, I had a baby.
The conversation of asking a comedian how they got into comedy is, to me, not always the most interesting conversation because, I don't know, I'm just not that interested in it a lot of the time. With you, I think it's so interesting, and I would love to ask you why you started doing comedy.
I started doing comedy because I was getting my life back together, and I voted for Bill Clinton, and he started the welfare to work program. So I have to report to a caseworker because they want to change your mindset and get you out the system. I run into a black caseworker named Miss Chambers, and I started telling her all of these horrible things that happened to me. And I'll never forget the one of the stories that she could not stop laughing at. I grew up in a bootleg house with my grandfather, and my brother stole my auntie food stamps.
What's a bootleg house?
Where they sell moonshine.
Oh, literally bootleg.
Yeah, like a bootleg house. And so my granddaddy sold single cigarettes and alcohol, like shots and beers and stuff like that. And my brother stole my auntie's food stamps.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. What? Alcohol wasn't illegal.
It was. You could not sell alcohol without a license. My granddaddy was like a convenience store.
Okay.
His house, our house.
So he just didn't have a liquor license.
Well,
and
he was
wanted
selling
to
moonshine.
sell it. Right.
So he was selling little shots for 50 cents on a
I guess
dollar.
I just think of moonshine as when alcohol is banned. But
no.
I guess
You don't supposed to sell. Well, this is in the 70s.
Yeah.
The early 80s. You weren't supposed to be selling that.
Why is anybody buying moonshine from him instead of just going to a liquor store?
Because my grandfather sold corn liquor and they didn't sell it in the stores.
So people were just wanted it to be corn?
I guess, I don't know. But that's what he sold. He sold that and beer. And so, and also in Georgia, they did not sell alcohol on Sunday. So that's when my granddaddy was the busiest. Late night Saturdays and Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays.
You could do that with Chick-fil-A now.
Chick-fil-A don't open on Sundays.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So we steal my aunt food stamps, and I'm telling this story to my caseworker, and I was like, "Oh, I had such a rough life," and she was like, "Well, tell me your story." I tell her about we stole the food stamps and we down band like Laffy Taffies and cashing in the food stamps for candy, for change so we could play Pac-Man. So we done it all day. We get back, my aunt woke and my granddaddy's up, and we walk in the house and my granddaddy said, "Line up, niggas." We was like, "What?" He's like, "Who stole the food stamp?" And so my granddaddy had a shotgun house. He threw the rope in over to one of the beams and it dropped down. He put a chain, he grabbed my cousin. He said, "I'm gonna hang all y'all asses until y'all tell me who stole the food stamp." So this our granddaddy. He playing, right? He put the rope around my cousin's neck and moved the chair and he spit around. I said, "Granddaddy,
wait
let
a
me
minute.
tell you about these food
Wait.
stamps."
Your cousin standing on the chair?
Yes.
With a noose around his neck? Oh my God, that's crazy.
And it wasn't, at the time it looked like a forever hanging, but it probably was only like a few seconds. My cousin was kicking and screaming.
Was his hands free though to at least go like this?
I don't remember. He was a kid. We was all kids.
That's fucking nuts.
So he put the chair back up under my cousin. He said, "Who stole the food stamp?" And I went to snitching. And my auntie got her food stamp and we all got our ass beat. And that's the story I tells her.
And the caseworker was laughing at this?
Oh, she was in tears. And she looked at me.
You must have told it with some good beats or something, because that's fucking nuts.
Well, he's laughing now, so I guess I'm telling it with good beats. And I'm laughing. And so I would just start telling her all of this stuff, how I grew up. And she was like, "You ever thought about being a comedian?" And I was like, "No." She was like, you got a lot of stories like Richard Pryor. And I'm like, "Who the hell is Richard Pryor?"
Really? Wow.
And so I go home and I research Richard Pryor.
So you watched Superman 3?
It wasn't Superman 3. It was that other movie.
Toys.
No, when they was moving. Remember the movie Moving?
I don't know Moving. Do you know the movie Moving? Richard Pryor
Remember
movie?
he was selling his house, and he as the white man was selling Richard Pryor his black wife the house, and as he was walking through the house, he was like, "I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take that." I thought Richard Pryor was just a funny man on TV. Even in Superman, I didn't know he was a comedian because I didn't know much about comedians. And so once I found out he was a comedian, and then I just started like researching what I said, "A comedian make this kind of money to tell their business?" I can tell my business. And so she just kept telling me I should be a comedian. And so I went and got on stage.
Richard Pryor, Marshall Mathers, Tina Turner.
And my theme song was my husband gave me when I was at my lowest after I stopped selling drugs and forging checks and doing all this dumb shit in my life. I'm trying to get my life back on track, and I'm feeling sorry for myself because you immediately want to say, well, society set me up for failure. I never had a chance. And my husband's like, well, look, ain't nobody gonna give you a chance if you don't give yourself a chance. Stop, do something with yourself. And he gave me the little tape. The little tape, not the CD, the little tape. There was no CDs back then. It was Outkast, Get Up and Get Out and Get Something.
One of his favorites.
Really? That was my theme song. And I would pump that shit and pump that song to get myself up out of this slump. Because I don't use the word depression, but I was low. I had stopped selling drugs. I'm trying to go right. I have custody of my sister kids. I can't get my hair fixed. I don't feel pretty. I'm in a marriage. I got somebody to love me. But all the stuff I'm used to being able to be independent on my own, I can't because I don't have the education. I don't have the job. And I have custody of my sister 4 kids, and we move into this house, and I'm just at my lowest.
You have custody of your sister's 4 kids plus 2 or 4 of yours?
2 at the time. I'm 19 years old.
With 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you think the way that
I told you I got married when I was 28. Take that out. I'm sorry. I got married at like 22.
Do I have to take that out, or are you just...
I misspoke.
Well, then you know what? Miss Pat, who misspoke, I misspoke as well. When I
Mhm.
said Tina Turner, I meant Whitney Houston.
Why did you mean Whitney Houston?
Isn't What's Love got to do with Whitney Houston?
No, you meant Tina Turner.
You meant Tina Turner. That's Tina
can see
Turner.
that.
What's love got to do?
Right.
That's
Then why did I say Whitney Houston?
You said Whitney Houston.
I said Tina Turner first,
Yes,
and then I
you
thought I
was right.
misspoke.
No, you didn't misspoke. I did.
Well, it looks like I did just now.
Yeah.
Do you think the way that you thought Richard Pryor, you didn't know he was a stand-up comedian, you just thought he was...
An actor.
Is the way that some people feel about Andre 3000 from Four Brothers? Do you know that
I think
movie?
they know he's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know he's a rapper, there's something wrong with you. One of the greatest groups out of Atlanta of all time, Outkast.
Yeah, I'm
They just got just get
yes,
rock
inducted
roll.
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm talking about. One of the greatest groups ever.
Yeah, and he looks good still.
Well, black don't crack.
You know what? That's a saying, but some black cracks.
When they on crack.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean the hairline on him even. Yeah, he just looks good.
We have the stuff that a lot wish they had. The melanin, what is it in our skin?
Melanin?
Melanie. I don't know why I want to keep calling cancer all the time.
I was about to say, yeah. Well, you misspoke.
I was being funny. I was doing you that time.
I like how you said the only time you're doing me is when you say something bad and wrong. You got into comedy and at 29, you're married at 22. When do you stop selling drugs?
Right after I meet him.
Was that because of him?
Yes.
Because he was able to help support financially?
No, he was pressuring the shit out of me to stop selling drugs and forging checks.
But
because he had
But
just
you were able to do that because of his help?
Well, after I got custody of my sister kids, I got something called Section 8, a voucher. You see that's all in the news now to help pay for the rent. And I didn't have a job, and he was encouraging me to go get a job. And I felt like he was such a good man and he cared about me and my kids. And I said, well, why don't I give up the streets? There's nothing out there. And he would constantly say, think about this. If you go to jail, these are not my kids. They're going to come get them.
Yeah.
And I knew that my nieces needed me. And I knew that my kids needed me. I knew my kids' father was not going to be able to provide for my kids the way me and my husband at the time could. And I did not want my sister kids to go into the system because they had just came out of a crack-infested house. So I was like, I have to stop this.
But what kind of job could, a single mother or father who's out there now with one kid, let alone 6, what kind of job could they get?
I got McDonald's.
Right.
I got Walmart.
Yeah.
I got absolutely nothing. And but it wasn't about I was getting rent assistance and stuff like that. It was more about getting my life back on track. So sometimes you got to go to the bottom to stand back up. And I was willing to do that. It was hard. It was because I'm used to making bukus of money.
Right.
Thousands of dollars a day. And I'm forging checks and I'm doing all kind of stuff. And then you go from that to not having anything to look at a man and say, can you get my hair fixed?
What was it in you that allowed both your ego to allow you being so self-sustainable to needing help by doing a job that wasn't as dangerous for you and your the potential safety of your family? Like to go from making thousands of dollars a day to making 100? Like what allowed you to do that?
I had to humble myself.
But what I'm saying, how?
I did it for my kids. There was nothing in the street for me. I was going to go to jail or
But weren't
hell.
you also selling the drugs for your kids?
To my kids?
No. I'm saying the reason that you said you even got into it was to help support.
Well, when I met my husband, I finally had some stability. He had a job. He wasn't in the streets. He graduated, went off to the military 6 years. He had just gotten out. And it was the first time I ever met a man that was stable. I tell this joke now. First man I ever met with a real credit card. I ain't even know Visa was a fucking credit card. I was like, why your card is called Visa? Because everybody I knew had a baby fat. That was a preloaded card. And he was like, it's a credit card. I'm like, well, don't you have to load it? He was like, load it? Because his parents had taught him about credit and interest rates and stuff like that. I had never heard that until I met him. So as I was dating him, I just saw it was so much, he had given me so much stability. I didn't have to go in the streets and run around, get shot at, worry about getting robbed, going to jail. Even though I went from being able to get my hair fixed, buy the things that I want, do the things that I want, to go down and say, well, I can't do that anymore.
I have a question that is none of my business, and I don't know how to preface it in a way that that makes this question appropriate. But I want to ask this question. So you are supporting 2 of your kids and 4 of your sister's kids. You're selling drugs. I'm not talking about you as a person, your soul, your heart, your being, your character. I'm saying
at that time I'm coming out of selling drugs.
Before you meet him?
Before I met him, I was selling drugs.
Right. So what I'm saying is you're selling drugs and you're supporting 6 children. And there's a lot of obstacles there.
Yes.
If I were to meet a woman with 6 kids who's selling drugs, she better had on some really nice pants.
What would you say if a guy walked in for an interview without a shirt on? And I hired him. What would you say?
He must have had on some really nice pants.
Let me say this to you. I wasn't selling drugs. I didn't have the 6 kids. After I met my husband and we moved in.
No. But this is before. I'm saying when you meet your husband, your
I only
to-be
have
husband.
2 kids.
Oh, you're not supporting the 4 yet?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I go
so still,
get the
you have
4.
You have 2 kids. You're on the street. You're selling drugs. He obviously saw something in you that made it worth hoping that the drugs selling would stop soon.
Yes.
What is it that he saw? And I'm not saying what existed in you, because obviously we know this now. I'm saying, what is it that he was able to see, and why was he able to see that? As somebody, like when you go out and date somebody now, you go on a first date, and if I fart on a first date, a girl might be like, oh, he's not a good person. I mean, that's a bit hyperbolic. But like, what is it that this person sees in you? And again, I know I'm over communicating, but I'm not asking what's inside of you. I'm saying, what is he able to see on a first date, on a second date, where he is interested in, this is a woman who I think I could fall in love with, when there's such an obstacle? Because you said he was pressing you to stop the drugs. So obviously he didn't want you to keep doing that.
Yeah, he did.
What did you show him, and what was he able to see where this, again, I'm sorry if this is a disrespectful question, is worth the investment into somebody who is on track for being such a liability to him?
I was a liability. I don't know. You would have to ask him that. I do remember having a conversation with him, and he said, you're a smart person. He said, do you think if you wasn't selling drugs and you went out to college, you would date somebody like me? And I asked him one day, I said, why do you say that? Because I always thought my husband was he's a very smart person. He reads all the time. He know everything that's going on in the world. To me, I was a hood rat. So I don't know. I think he got to know the other side of me and realize I'm just a woman out here with kids who's been left alone, who was trying to survive. And he stepped in and he provided me the stability that I needed. So maybe, I mean, I always said I'm thinking I'm a pretty good person.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that time in my life, I was just looking to be loved. So maybe that's what he saw.
How did you guys meet?
My girlfriend at the time went to school with his brother. So we rode by his mama house and he was standing out there. And I was like, oh, he make a cute stepdaddy.
So at first you saw him, you were attracted to him physically.
Yes.
And then you go up and talk to him?
No, we went to the club that night and he was kind of on a little date with somebody I already knew. And I just kept talking to her. I was like, fuck her.
And were you making him laugh?
Yeah, I was talking because he was asking me dumb questions like, is that your real hair? I was like, yeah, I bought it. He's like, are those your real titties? I said, yeah, I grew them. And so we just started having conversations and then we switched numbers and then he started giving me a ride. And he would come over to my house and, spend the night and just talk. And I was like, this guy's weird. He's not trying to have sex with me.
And your kids are old enough now. They're 9, 10 years, right?
No, my kids was like 5 and 6. They was kindergarten and first grade.
22, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somewhere in there. So,
Did you get along with them right away?
yes. So, I was go out and borrow his car to go for his checks. He didn't know what I was doing, but he was, I come home one day and he said, you know how smart your daughter is? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, she can read and everything. I'm like, yeah. I mean, even though I sold drugs, I still sat on the corner with flashcards.
When did he find out that you sell drugs and forge checks? And did he find out or did you tell him?
His brother knew, so kind of told him, a little bit into the relationship.
And you were trying to hide it from him?
I didn't really care at the time.
Well, you said you borrowed his car. He didn't know where you were going. There had to have been a conscious choice to not say, hey, I'm going to go do this thing.
No, well, I don't know if I think his brother probably told him, but he kind of knew I was in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he knew I was forging checks at the time. I think he knew I was in the streets. But I think that's why I fell in love with him too, because he never judged me. I mean, we never discussed. I dropped out of school in 8th grade. He didn't care. He stepped in and became the father that my kids needed. And it's the best relationship I ever had in my life.
Yeah, obviously you feel seen by him.
I do feel seen by him. Now over 32 years and done got a little dull. I think he got glucose and cataract sometime. But he's always been there. And that's why when all of these things God blessed me with over the years, and he worked at General Motors for 22 years. And I said, you need to work at General Motors 30 years before you can retire. I said, I'm asking you to retire.
How long was he there for?
22.
So he would have needed 8 more.
He would have needed 8 more years.
And you're saying that because of the success of financial success that you've been having?
Yes.
That you're like, hey, we could do this?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
He'd been retired at like 4 years. Yeah.
On the show, you talk about how the character, like, oh, you've made it because they're saying you got out, et cetera. But from you were talk about like, well, not yet as a comedian and as a performer. You're saying, but I'm making my way, you end up almost doing porn. Like you're doing all these different things. You're trying to figure it out. In real life, how do you see yourself with that kind of stuff?
I don't see myself like other people see me. Everybody think, I think a lot of people say they see fame. I don't use the word I'm famous. I tell people I have a job like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my kids see me as being famous, and I don't know if I'm downplaying myself because a lot of people say I do, but I just see a person with a job.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job that legal now. That's how I see it. And somebody told me I had imposter syndrome.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't see the Miss Pat everybody else see. Because I still got that voice in my head from my mama telling me that I ain't shit. And that's one of the biggest things I fight through. When something happened for me, I don't ever think I deserve it. When most people see good things, I doubt myself. And I do that a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. But it's a voice for my mama that say I ain't shit all the time.
There's a scene in the episode where you're looking in the mirror and your mom is speaking poorly about your looks, your hair.
Yes.
Wants you more like your sister's
nappy
hair. You're talking in the mirror to your younger self, and then the mom comes around and tells her, go away, whatever. Then the mom comes through, and then you have a moment with the mom where you said, tell her she's beautiful, which I thought is a nice moment. It's now you in charge of yourself when you weren't back then, telling your mom what you needed then. That episode could have ended there. It didn't. It then went her, I don't remember what she said, but she said something like fuck off or whatever, and then she walks away. And it could have left on you with a reaction of the trauma, but it didn't. You laughed, which I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. Again, I don't know what's intentional, what isn't, what is subconscious, what isn't, but to me it read as you want this for your younger self, but the mom's talking to you now and she's not giving it to you.
No, she's not.
But your older self was able to laugh it off.
And say, that's why you did, bitch.
Yeah. And it's therapy, you know? I mean, it seems like you go to therapy or whoever is writing with you talks to you about this stuff and you know, because like, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That choice to laugh at it was, where does that come from in the process of writing to rehearsal?
Well, one of the things I always told Jordan, I said, you know, when you can laugh about something in your life, you got control over it. And it wasn't until I could laugh about the things that I went through that, you know, I knew I was healing. You know, because you can cry about, I can sit here and we can cry about what I've been through in life, mm-hmm. but I chose to laugh about it. And I chose
They're not mutually exclusive though. I mean, mm-hmm. to feel that, the reason you were able to connect to that scene with your younger self when you another episode out in the parking lot, and when you had the kids swearing, was because it's still in you. So just because you're laughing at it doesn't mean that one is over it. It just means that it's a next step to accepting it.
Well, you can't change the past. I told you that earlier. But what I've learned in life is when you hate somebody or you hate something, that hate will control you. So I've learned to forgive the people that hurt me so I can smile.
That's what Jesus was talking about.
So I can live. I don't read the Bible, but I'm quite sure you're right. But that's what has helped me, to forgive the people who harm me. Because I can't change it. What am I going to do to my baby daddy? I've told him several times, I said, what you did to me was molestation. Yeah. It was rape. You should have been in jail. You should have been in jail. You're a 22-year-old married man and you got a 13-year-old girl pregnant. You should have been in prison. I truly believe because I was black and poor in America, nobody gave a damn. That's what I think. They don't care about poor people, period. But me being on black was a cherry to the top. They didn't care. He should have been in jail. If that shit happened today, he would be in jail.
Who knew about it? Did people know
Everybody
about it?
knew about it. The caseworker and everything. They tried to get my mama to prosecute him. But she wouldn't, because I found out writing my first book, the same thing happened to my daddy. Was like 9 years older than my mom.
How old was your mom when she had you?
My mama was 22 with her I was her sixth child.
How old was your mom when she had her first?
I think she was 13.
Wow. Yeah, you said it in one of the episodes. You said it to the principal when your daughter got into a fight, and you said, "I'm just trying the best I can to like not have what happened to me happen to them." I feel so emotional right now. It's such a good show.
Thank you.
Also, I know we got to wrap it up, right?
Well, I hope people will watch it. You go back and watch season 1 through 4. Season 5 will be out soon. And it's a show that would take you on a roller coaster. Yes, we do curse. Yes, we do use a certain type of language that you can't use on mainstream TV. But when I tell you, people always say, people was looking at us like we was crazy, because we was the first show to be nominated for 3 Emmys on BET. 3, not 1, but 3 times. And that made me proud to say, I know I'm not going to win. I'm up here against all of these big-ass shows, and they're good shows too. But hey, I am on the ball field.
Mhm.
And it's never been about taking home a trophy. I always say that we're the people champ. You know, I've seen shows win Emmys and get canceled the same day or the next year. What I love about the Miss Pat show, you have 2 Emmys.
Well, no. They're HCA awards. Go on.
What are they for?
One of them is for a show I was on Amazon called As We See It. It's my favorite thing I'm most proud of I've ever made, but it got canceled right after. And the other one, they made me it's not real, but the guy made me a fake one for this podcast.
Oh.
So there's really only one of them. But I was just doing that as a bit because we were talking about how trophies don't matter, and I'm thinking maybe not.
Well, you
to
know what? To my co-creator, they does. To me, it doesn't. What signify me to say what we're doing is the right thing is when they keep bringing us back, and all the conversations that I have with people. If I'm canceled today, all I ever wanted to do with Miss Pat show is to make it to season 5. Make it to season 5 because I used to call this show. This show got fucked over so much in Hollywood. So much in Hollywood. Even after it was made, they kept testing it to make sure people liked it. I mean, they were sending it to the whitest place, Alpharetta, Georgia. The white part of New York.
I was just in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yeah, and they would let people watch it, and then they'd tell them, oh, this is a good show. Because they didn't think that I was a crossover act because I'm me. I don't know how to be nothing but me. And if you fall in love with Miss Pat, I'm just happen to be black, and I don't know how to be nothing else. I'm me. And that's one thing Hollywood would never change for me.
5 years has been historically the level of a successful show. It's Star Trek. The opening, the about the show is they're on a 5-year mission. The reason they even did that was because they were hoping to get 5 seasons out of it. 5 seasons is kind of like the thing.
And you know, I hope we get a sixth season over there. But if I'm not, I'm complete.
Well, that's why I think trophies and awards, jokes aside, are relevant. It's not a guarantee, but once you start getting that type of acclaim, it does make it harder for the network to cancel the show because they want that. They want to say what their networks have taken. So like being nominated even, it just is really, ego aside, it's just really important for the potential success of the show and all the people that work on it.
Well, I hope BET appreciate me as much as I appreciate them, you know, and I hope the station stay around and my name will always be attached. The first one to ever get an Emmy nomination for BET and BET Plus. And you know, I can't say anything else, but I'm proud of the show. It's a beautiful show, and thank you for telling people to go watch it. I mean, it means a lot. You got 4 seasons, over 40 episodes that you can really take yourself on an emotional roller coaster and learn more about me as an artist.
The whole cast, it's a fantastic show. So I know we've already said it, and I know I've said it a bunch, but for whatever recommendations you take, sincerely, I'm going to be binging. It's just, I'm laughing out loud and I'm crying. It's fantastic. So congratulations. And it was a pleasure to meet you. And I didn't know what the energy would be like because I'm a little sick and we don't know each other yet. And my silly and your silly are perhaps different frequencies.
No, you're just a little bit smarter than me. So I had to catch it. I said, okay. He want to use his little college degree on me in his private school.
You know,
so
I said epidermis once. No, you're kind of using it against me. I went to special schools. I was in the learning disability class.
Yes.
I'm an idiot.
No,
all right, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot. Those are fine little words. And so I was like, oh, okay. I got to step back for a second and listen to him.
I'm sincerely a fan of yours, and whoever reached out to say, because you're going on this run for the show, and to have you on, and I was so excited. I was hoping it went through. So thank you very much.
Thank you for
wearing the socks.
Well, it's cold in here. I'm glad I got on socks.
Okay. It was unless I can't imagine you don't want me to put this in, but no, I won't. But I met you outside, and you had by the way, if you ever feel like an imposter and you're not successful, take a look at how you rolled up the podcasts. Just in this big black car with all your with your team that couldn't fit in this room, and you said she was helping you with the socks. Is it fine that we talk about this?
Yes.
She was helping you with the socks, and I both feel bad and also this is what it is. Like, if you're not wearing socks, I'm sorry I'm asking this of you, but I take your shoes off and I don't like the bare feet in my house. And she's helping you with the socks, and you put your slippers on, which to me, I think, were they Gucci?
Yes.
Yeah. And someone just put them on, and you said, I can't bend down, so somebody has to do this for me.
Yes.
And I thought,
I smashed my vagina.
yeah, yeah, right. And I'm like, imposter. I mean, that's what a queen enters a place. Just somebody, here's your, it was a crown, but for your feet.
Oh no.
So anyway,
she's my assistant.
Yeah. Pleasure to meet you. I'm going to take a Polaroid of you, and then we're done.
Okay, thank you.
Season 5 of the Miss Pat Show airs January 7th. We'll voice it over if it comes out by then.
Okay.
And if not, the 4 seasons are on apparently not just BET Plus, but Amazon as well.
Amazon as well.
All right. Theme music.
And the court show. I have a court show called Miss Pat Settles It also.
Oh yeah, I've seen clips of it. I haven't watched it yet. I absolutely will. It looks funny.
It is funny, very funny.
What's it called again?
Miss Pat Settles It.
Miss Pat Settles It.
Yes.
And it's a judge show.
I'm a judge.
But are they obviously you're not taking you don't have legal precedence on this.
No.
Or legal standing. But
no, it's just
are they
regular
real?
people.
Is it scripted or are they real people?
No, they're real people.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, this season was the first season we kind of really did influencers. So we have an influencer family, and then we have a friend section. So this season, the 3rd season, is kind of broke off into 3 different things. But yeah, it's fun.
Right,
My
cool.
kids are actually on there, and I did not know they was going to be on there.
As they came in to settle something?
Yes. I have a gay daughter, and my son sued, my daughter sued my son.
For being straight?
No. For going to the script club and spending her money. And he didn't give her no money. He didn't pay her back.
Yeah, great. I'm excited to watch that.
Thank you.
Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Theme music. Stay there for 1 second. Let me get a picture.
Blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah.